Hey everyone, Sean Paul Ellis here from the Saturday Morning Cartoons podcast. Remember, that's morning with a U. For the entire month of June, we are on summer vacation. That's right, we are taking a break and we are on summer vacation. And so we are playing extras or behind the scenes footage that we have from a bunch of our episodes. But very quickly, before we get into that, I want to just remind everybody we have some changes to our Patreon very quickly. What's in store when we return to actually reviewing and talking about cartoons in July, and what are you actually going to be listening to this week from Dave and myself? So, very quickly, about our Patreon. Some of you may have noticed that our Patreon has been paused. We'd like to thank all of our friends and our family, cartoon enthusiasts, for their moral support and financial support over these many months and years. Unfortunately, due to some real-world complications, we are going to be pausing this Patreon campaign for the foreseeable future. We just didn't think that it was fair to you, our patrons, to continue to charge you on a monthly basis while going through a major overhaul that we have for the podcast. But don't worry, all of our cartoon reviews, revisiting everything, and ridiculing them will continue, just in a different presentation in July. So, what's actually happening in the month of July? Starting in July, moving forward for Saturday Morning Cartoons, we are actually going to be shifting and moving to a twice-a-month format. I know it's a little bit different. We've been doing this weekly for, 4+ years now at this point, and we still love doing it, and we want to continue to be able to do it so that you guys can watch these cartoons and participate and have as much fun as we are having. But again, due to some life circumstances, we need to kind of change and modify this show accordingly. And so we're going to be doing this twice a month. And so it's going to be the first and third Mondays of every month. So in July, that's going to be July 2nd and July 16th. And because there's no Patreon restriction anymore about telling you what's coming up in advance, we can tell you right now. On the 2nd, we're going to be talking about He-Man, Masters of the Universe. You guys know and love He-Man. We are going to be getting deep into this with some guests. And on the 16th, we're going to be watching the sister show. That's right. We're going to be talking about She-Ra on July 16th. So we couldn't be more excited to have our friends and our guests come on these shows to talk to you about these cartoons. We're still going to be there, just in a slightly modified format. So we want to ask everybody, if you have any He-Man and She-Ra moments and you'd like to share those with us, please feel free to hit us up and let us know. We would definitely love to be able to incorporate any of those that we can into the episode, and so thank you guys in advance. So what are you listening to today? Well, we've got an extra from episode 196, which was in the middle of our Disney Battle Month that we had. And these extras specifically come from our Quack Pack vs. Timon and Pumbaa episode. In this episode, in these extras, I decided that I wanted to sing a bunch of Sugar Ray songs for no good reason. Dave and I talk about our disappointment with the television show The Walking Dead, and we talk a little bit about Dave's attendance at a roller derby in order to see a Four Non Blondes cover band, which I am also probably coincidentally singing during this portion of it. So, enjoy! Is grape.
Grape.
I don't know what that noise was.
That was grape
like
apes.
Like a weird flare up above my head. I don't know where that's coming from.
It's from your holy self.
From my holy halo.
From my halo. Isn't that a song too? Something about a halo?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it is.
What about whose halo's hanging from their bedpost?
Sugar Ray.
Yeah, what the fuck was that song?
Every morning
There it is.
there's a halo hanging from the corner of my girlfriend's four-post bed.
Got it.
I know it's not mine, but I'll see if I can use it for the weekend or a one-night stand.
I would have just pawned that shit, to be honest with you.
I also don't know why he's explaining to us that he's in his girlfriend's bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, maybe I'll steal this thing from her and be unfaithful.
I'm pretty sure that was the plot of Requiem for a Dream.
Oh my god, if that was the Kronos Symphony Orchestra, it's just replaced by Sugar Ray.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty sure it's the exact plot.
I'd like to redub that entire movie.
Yeah.
With just moments where it's just like Sugar Ray, and it's like, I just want to fly. I'm just reading your tweet right now. It
Which
popped
one?
up on my phone in response to Scott M. Gimbel's comment about the Walking Dead.
Oh,
And
fuck.
he
That guy
said,
is so in his own world, man.
I hope the actual end of the world zombie apocalypse arrives first.
That's still not my favorite one. My favorite one, and this is a
Jesus Christ, buddy.
self-aggrandizing tweet suggestion. A while ago, I think the official Twitter, but right before they were getting ready to like go into the premiere or whatever,
Yeah.
were like, "What's your weapon of choice for the zombie apocalypse?" And I just replied with a remote control. And people like that.
Zing!
Zingers. It's a bad show, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I stopped watching in season 3.
I keep up with it just to like, not even in the hopes that it's going to get better, they're going to do something interesting anymore, just to keep up with it, just to know what's going on, to see if there's anything we can talk about. But my God, it's just,
I mean, that seems like you're keeping up with it.
you know what I mean though? Like, I have to for work.
Yeah.
And that's not even really an excuse. It's just kind of like, it's such a big thing still, and so many people still watch it, that if something interesting happens that we have to talk about, then I got to talk about it because nobody else is watching. I mean, nobody else at Collider is watching it.
Yeah. Poor Carl had to die.
They dragged that out for a whole episode, though, didn't they? I love that they had. You obviously didn't see this recent episode, but they.
No, but I've been reading articles on Collider to fill in the gaps
that we don't write. Yeah. No, I saw Allison wrote up the Gimples stuff today,
Yeah.
which was pretty funny. But yeah, they had a whole like 10-minute like musical montage of just like, look how awesome Carl's life is right now. And it's like, where the fuck is that for the rest of your normal show? Like, why when he's on death's doorstep does he suddenly realize like, oh, look at all these cool things I can do? None of the other time. Every other time, they're just dirty ass people, sweaty, looking for bullets,
dirty ass
doing
shit
dirty ass shit on the sly, getting shot at.
on the slide.
And I love that from literally like one half season to the next, they went from like, oh man, we have a real ammo shortage and we're going to have to keep Eugene alive because he's the only one who knows how to make it, to literally just like 45 minutes of wall-to-wall assault weapons firing just at nothing. Just shooting guns into the woods for no reason because it's unlimited ammo now. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you set up an internal rule or internal law or whatever, we've talked about this in cartoons that violate this principle. If you set up an internal logic and then violate that, I'm not going to watch your show.
Yeah,
because you clearly don't know what you're doing.
I lose a lot of I lose a lot of patience.
Yep. End rant. So Quack Pack.
I'm gonna reserve my comments until we actually start talking about the episode.
Sounds good. Did you score everything? I forgot to put this in the notes, but did you remember like the How Disney Is It?
Of course I did. You know why? Because I created that potpourri shitty category.
And I don't know how to score it because sometimes it's like, this is so Disney because it's capitalizing on a popular property, then bringing nothing to the table. That's like 10 out of 10 Disney.
I think it's one of those things that it's just like, if you like an episode and if it resonated with you and if you were just like, yeah, like I got some real good Disney vibes from one of the shows tonight, you know? And so as a result, I was like, yeah, this is getting my attention.
I'm down.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, did the room clear out, Bethany? Hell no.
What?
Presents. She means you shouldn't have brought presents.
Oh, man.
Anytime I get a chance to drop a random line from Christmas Vacation, you best believe it's going to happen. I like the shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to see who else. I see Gerald. I see Norbert and Daggett. I see Reptar, obviously. There's Filbert. Helga, Tommy, Rocco, Stimpy. I don't see Ren. Heifer, Chucky, Spunky. Yeah, I can't see him.
Crumb, Ickis, Blina.
Oh, nice. That's a solid 90s shirt you got going on.
Where's Ren? Yeah, Ren's up
Is
here.
he tucked in there?
like tucked in next to her.
Okay, he's very tiny.
There's like one of those like cheap $11 t-shirts
Hell yeah.
at Target's.
Hell yeah, it's the best.
Love Target t-shirts. This week brought to you by Target t-shirts.
Thanks, Malaysian child labor facility. Couldn't do it without you.
Don't ever want to do it. Never want to give you up. Never want to buy a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Never want to spend more than $12. Cause I'll desert you as a customer. Right. I'll desert you as a customer.
Yeah, there's a guy in Pittsburgh has a local show there that does well, and I like to support him when I can. But then he's like, check out these new T-shirts, and I was like, cool. There's a neat design. It's like very specific to this brand.
Made in Malaysia.
No, I clicked on it, and I'm sure it's made in America because it was $30. I'm like, the fuck? No one is paying $30 for a T-shirt. Sorry, bud.
When you say near Pittsburgh, and when you say radio show and support it when you like to, is this your brother Andrew?
No, A, he's not in Pittsburgh yet. B, it's not a radio show. It's the Pittsburgh Dad, or whatever.
Yeah.
He's funny as hell. And he's great. Like the web series is great. And I was like, cool, I'll buy that shirt. And I was like, $30. Fuck that. It's like a week's worth of food for me.
Yeah, that $30, $50. That's like a week's worth of food.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do.
I can't eat T-shirts.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried.
Yeah, believe me.
Oh my God, have I tried? Why am I singing so much?
I don't know, but this is great.
This is straight into Four Non Blondes. This is amazing.
Great. We saw a Four Non Blondes. This was amazing.
Cover band?
Four Non Blondes cover band.
Stop.
Outside.
Stop it.
At a roller derby competition. It's pretty fucking amazing. Wait. I'm like, first of all, spot on talent for this crowd.
I had to ask, what other song other than
that was it?
That single?
That was it.
So it was just them playing it over and over and over again?
That and then like the best Indigo Girls hits, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was lot. It was a lot from what's the festival name?
Lilith Fair?
Thank you. I was gonna say Lollapalooza, but I was like, that's clearly
Lilith Palooza.
Lilith Palooza is what
Lilith Palooza. Yeah. But like biblical Lilith Palooza.
That'd be amazing. I'd go watch that.
Adam's first wife, Lilith.
Possibly a vampire.
Yeah, possibly a succubus. Possibly somebody that steals children. Unless you inscribe something on your crib.
I'll tell you what. Balby. I'm down for all that Old Testament crazy stuff. I feel like we need more of that.
Why would you ever want
that? To be real.
Why would you ever want that?
It sounds fun.
Terrifying.
It sounds fun. It's like a lot of mythology to keep up with. There's a whole bunch of gods running around that I can't keep track of. There's like a god of wheat, a god of hooves.
What you need to do, what you've just described is something you need to push together into one god and then put it in a Netflix movie called The Ritual.
That was good, actually.
Yeah,
did you watch it? Okay, cool.
Because I read the first part of your article. And it was just like, do not read any further if you don't want to be spoiled. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess I'll go watch it now. So I finished it last night.
Most of the stuff I write these days actively pushes people away from the site. Because everything I write is like an explainer or a spoiler. So of the like 8 paragraphs I write, I expect people to read maybe 1.5 and then go away. But that's cool. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, because I came back because I was just like, do tell, what did I miss with this, Dave? And you were just like, here's all these things. Here's these gods.
Yeah.
This is like an aggregate of all these gods. Yeah. Kind of resembles this other thing that I read that I first was exposed to in Ruby, and I was like, "Oh,
weird, yeah,
that's crazy."
Because I saw that in Ruby, and then I was like, "The fuck is this thing?" I talked to the creators, and I was like, "Hey, by the way, the fuck was that thing?" And they were like, "Oh, it's this." I'm like, "I've never heard of that, but it's creepy as hell. I'm gonna check it out." Jesus. So when it showed up in the Ritual, I was just like, "That's pretty awesome." I like the way that they mushed those two things together in like a super creepy monster.
There you have it. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate everything. And remember, we are going to be back on July 2nd with our He-Man Masters of the Universe episode. So we can't wait. If you have anything that you'd like to share, please let us know. He wasn't on our show, but we definitely always want to give a shout out to Bobby Anthem. You can hear him on his paranormal podcast, Inhuman Experience. You can find them on Twitter at IEXP_podcast. And you can find it on Spreaker and SoundCloud. He's also an occasional third wheel on the THT Movie Review Podcast, which broadcasts every Saturday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mixlr. You can also find Bobby on Twitter at BobbyAnthem. Send him a message, show him some love. He's simply the best. As for me, I perform live improv comedy in Washington, D.C. with a group that's called Nox. That's NOX exclamation point. You can find tickets and times and all the shows witdc.org. I'm also always on Twitter and Instagram at Sean Paul Ellis. If you're looking for Dave, you can find him on Twitter at Dr. Claw. You can find his writings on Nerdist.com, Collider.com, and DaveTrumbore.com. If you want to talk to us on this show, hey, that's great. You can head on over to our website, SaturdayMorningCartoons.com. You can find us on Twitter at MorningTunes. You can check out the weird memes that I post on Instagram at Saturday Morning Cartoons on Instagram. Keep the conversation going on Facebook, Facebook.com/Saturday Morning Cartoons. And you can listen each and every week to Saturday Morning Cartoons on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, wherever fine podcasts are sold. Want to suggest a cartoon to us? Absolutely. You should check out on any of our social media that I just mentioned earlier. We have something called Linktree right now. There's actually a link where you can go and click and submit a suggestion to us. And you can do that either through a Google form, or you can actually give us a call and let us know, and we will include that clip in an upcoming episode. We also have an entire list of all of the shows that SMC has gone through and all of the cartoons that we have talked about, so you can check and see if your cartoon is on there first and foremost before making a suggestion. Want to email us directly? SaturdayMorningCartoons@gmail.com. Everybody that's been listening, thank you guys so much, and we will be back next week with more Summer Vacation.
Hey, everybody. Thanks a lot for listening to Saturday Morning Cartoons. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to transform and roll out.